Hockey, Canada's official national winter sport and part of the fabric of this country's history. It's also a sport that's been considered predominantly white, but a new book sheds light on the black players who've shaped hockey history in the NHL and beyond, and its release comes just in time for Black History Month. The book, as you can see, is called Black Aces: Essential Stories from Hockey's Black Trailblazers. The author, a familiar face, former CTV Montreal reporter Julian McKenzie, now an NHL staff writer for The Athletic and co-host of the Chris Johnston Show. He joins us now. Julian, it is so good to see you.
It's really good to see you too, Maya. Hopefully you're doing well, and shout out to everyone at CTV. I miss you guys.
We miss you too. We miss you too, Julian, but we're so happy to have you back here talking with us about this book. Congratulations, you're now a published author. And this book covers everyone from Willie O'Ree, the NHL's first black player, to Jerome McGinley, the first black male athlete to win a Winter Olympics gold medal. So why did you want to write this book?
I just wanted to put together a compilation of black hockey stories. There have been smaller forms of that over the years, but I don't think there's been one where we've had as many male players and female players as well. I thought it was important to highlight the women of the PWHL and the NWHL as well, and we have to include Angela James in that too. So yeah, when the opportunity came to me to write a book, the idea of profiling as many players as I did also came to me as well, and now we have it in book form. So I'm really excited for people to read it and to enjoy it.
Yeah, so you mentioned women, and I think that is an important point. You're writing about women also playing professional hockey, including Sarah Nurse, who's now playing in the PWHL for the Vancouver Golden Knights, and we'll be seeing her at the Olympics as a forward for Team Canada this winter.
Yeah, we're talking about one of the most known faces when it comes to hockey, and we don't even have to just simplify it to just black hockey players or even just women's hockey players. This is a person who stepped up against the men during the NHL All-Star game a couple years ago and pulled off an amazing move on Igor Shesterkin, who's won a Vezina Trophy as a goalie with the New York Rangers. We're talking about one of the more marketable personalities. She's been on the cover of an EA Sports NHL game, and she's already, of course, achieved the success of winning a gold medal with Team Canada and, of course, setting the record for most assists and most points in a single game. So, yeah, getting to tell her story and having her talk about watching the 2002 games with her family, that was a really special time.
Yeah, and each chapter in your book is about one player. There's an anecdote early in the book about Herb Carnegie, a name probably not widely known. He's giving an interview to a reporter in his retirement home, and he breaks down sobbing because of something that happened to him when he was 18. I found that anecdote very, it really stuck with me. So tell us more about that.
So the anecdote you're talking about is something that happens to Herb Carnegie in his youth, where he plays on a local Toronto team and he has a practice with that team at the Maple Leaf Gardens where the Toronto Maple Leafs used to play. And it just so happens that members of that management team are in attendance for that practice, and they're watching Herb, and a coach eventually goes to Herb and says, if we could find a way to turn you white, we'd put you on our team tomorrow. And to hear that even now is just infuriating. And in the interview that you're referencing, Herb Carnegie recalls that incident, and he starts bawling. He starts crying. At one point, his daughter Bernice goes to him and consoles him. It just goes to, it's even writing that for the book, I couldn't believe it. And I felt really angry myself. And when we think of black hockey heroes, Herb Carnegie should be considered one of them, considering the fact that he played on an all-black line with his brother and Manny McIntyre. When he played in Quebec, he played with Jean Béliveau. And in his autobiography, Jean Béliveau even writes, like, why was it that Herb Carnegie, who was so good, wasn't able to play in the NHL? That's a story worth telling and for people to know about.
Okay, well, this wouldn't be complete if we didn't talk about PK Subban, of course, who was a star hockey player for the Montreal Canadiens and other teams, but very popular specifically here in Montreal. Also polarizing because critics, they found him too flashy. And you write in the book that, quote, much of that had to do with Subban's persona, and it was counterculture to the average hockey player, and that includes his blackness. What did you mean by that?
Well, when you think of a hockey player, you think of a humble, conservative, and to bring race into this, a white guy, right? So for PK Subban to flash his confidence, to flash his skill, and to bring it in the big moments as a black hockey player, I mean, that had so many people gravitate towards him. And I think whether it was because of his blackness or not, like definitely his confidence, it definitely rubs certain people the wrong way. And in the book, it mentions some of the kind of pushbacks and forth with certain players who might not have been a fan of his style, but there's a reason why so many people in Montreal to this day still love him for the player that he is and why he was able to see success throughout the majority of his career.
All right, we will have to leave it there, although there's so much more we could say about this book, Black Aces. Julian, once again, congratulations. We're all very proud of you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me. Please tell Mitsumi I say hi.
Will do.